but I think it's just a really huge, for me, like you and I talked about this the other day, about what do we stand for? Why are we doing this? Right? Each of us individually, and with this retreat. And I do really feel like, to me, I want to share with everyone what has happened with me, especially over the last couple of years, where I feel like I'm just way more in tune with me and who I am. And I really freaking like myself more than I ever have before, Jane. And I'm way more aware and present as to exactly who I am for the rest of the world, like who I want to be on a emotional, vibrational level for others, right? So I think that that's really important when we're talking to any of the women interested in coming on the retreat. I think that it's because that's a result, right? That they're going to get from spending the week with us. Because I feel like, I mean, is any of that like resonate with you as far as?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I started all of this, because 10 years ago, I suddenly came to the realization that it wasn't about anybody else.
Right.
Anything that I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
it should all be about me. And if it's about me, then I need to be happy with me. I need to be happy with my thoughts. I need to be unafraid to speak my truth.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be happy alone by myself and not with anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I need to be happy with my thoughts and be content that that is the way it is. And before all of what I've done, before that, I was looking outside myself for happiness. And that's not where you find it. You find it in here.
You know, Jane, I think the important message is that most of us, we don't look at things like that because society tells us that we're to be selfish, and especially women. What are women? We're nurturers. We want to love and give and care for and draw close to people that we love and protect them, especially on an emotional level, which is great. And yes, that's us. Like, that's instinctive in a woman, right? But if we don't do that for ourselves first, that's not being selfish. That's just being, well, you're not going to be there to help others if you don't do that for yourself first. If you don't get right with you, you're not going to be centered. You're not going to be balanced, right? Your vibration level is not going to be where it needs to be, and you won't be able to give. Your light will not shine like it can, and you won't be able to stand in your own power. That's not selfish. In fact, to me, it's probably the most loving thing we can do as women, right? Because then we have the ability. Yeah. If we stand in our own power, look what we do for each other. Jane, if you had not ever gone into this, stood in your power, done the things that you've done to be one and right with yourself, we'd have never had that conversation on the patio in St. Martin. And I would have never went to that retreat in Vermont. I would not be now co-hosting a retreat in Costa Rica with you. So you standing in your own power, look what that did. It allowed me to. So it's not selfish. Yeah. It's the most loving thing that we can actually do, is to think about ourselves, right? To make it about us first is really the loving thing.
Well, it also makes us more calm, more grounded, more at peace. Because I'm everybody around me, because that is what we all try to do. Yeah. Like I seem to be always trying to please everybody else. And because I was trying to please everybody else, I was getting so freaking stressed out because I couldn't do it. It was impossible. I set myself an impossible task. Right. And I think most women do that. To a certain degree, not everybody, but a lot of women do.
Right.
So,
and you know, Jane, they've never. Right. Go ahead, honey. Yeah. Go ahead.
I said they've never been given the opportunity to think differently, because that is the way society, families,
Mm.
indoctrinate you,
Mhm.
kind of, sort of.
Well, okay, so you're right, and I think, Jane, it would be really awesome that we make sure that the ladies on the retreat really get, I think the most powerful one, well, we're gonna do several things, but the most powerful thing I think we're really gonna do is the silent meditation. And when you did that with me for the very first time back at the Root Strength retreat, and I mean that literally altered me at the core. And now, I mean, you've known me for a lot of years, but and I don't know if it's visible or if you can hear it in my voice or see it, but I feel more content and peaceful and centered in my life in the last couple of years than I ever have. And I'm 50 years old. And I believe very strongly that a big part of that, big reason, is that I do my silent walks on the beach. I mean, almost every day. I mean, 2 or 3 miles. So I'm out there for like an hour, just silent. And sometimes I do them with Kevin, but mostly I do it by myself. And it has been such a powerful meditation for me. I use it as my meditation. And I really want you to talk a little bit about that. Like, be sure that everyone understands exactly what we're going to be doing on that walk. I think we're going to do it in the forest and the beach, but
Yeah.
like how because I don't think it's really understood at how powerful that is. I mean, people will go to retreats, right? In for 7 to 10 days silent. They don't speak. They don't, and I completely understand the power of that now. So, like, talk about you. The other day, you explained that to someone on the phone, and you did it really beautiful. Tell me that again.
So the silent walks that we do, they are often referred to as forest bathing,
Mm-hmm.
and they do it a lot in Japan, and that's where that part of it originated from.
Mm-hmm.
And forest bathing is just being out in nature and walking and being silent. And it's a little bit different what I'm going to be doing, or what we're going to be doing in Costa Rica, and what we did at the Root Strength retreat is we're going to be walking in nature in silence, but we will have very pointed and directed questions to each one of us, where we will stop every few minutes or every little while, and we'll be answering another question. And it's a question about ourselves, what we think about ourselves, what direction our life is going in. And when you sit there and you dwell on this, or you walk and you dwell on this, it has a whole different effect on you. So you'll be answering questions about yourself, and they're deep questions. They're meaningful questions about your life, the direction your life is going to take you, how you feel about things, and you keep it all to yourself, all in this silence, and it becomes extremely profound, and life changing, because you have suddenly learned how to be with yourself and be very observant of what you do every day in your life.
Mm.
So there's going to be, I think, 3, if I recall correctly. There's going to be 3 different silent walks. We're going to be in the jungle walking, and we're going to be walking to some beautiful waterfalls, where I'm hoping we're going to be able to swim once we've finished our silent walk. And then we'll have sharing circles. And in the sharing circles, you can share if you so wish, or you don't have to. You might want to keep it to yourself for a while. There'll be other opportunities to share on the different subjects as we go along, or even after the retreat. Sometimes it takes a while to process some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really important to be gentle with yourself with all of this as well.
Mhm. And I think it's important, Jane, to point out here that it they don't, it doesn't mean you have to, like, your life is a mess or you have anything awful going on or you feel terrible right now to get benefit out of this. Because I mean, when I did my first one with you, you know, I was dealing with my uncle's suicide, who was like my best friend, my big brother, my dad. I mean, him and I were super close my whole life. And that I had a lot that I came to the retreat knowing I needed something there to process. However, now I mean, I feel amazing in my life. I don't feel like I have anything like some big bad thing to process, although I feel like I process daily because let's face it, we're in a world where not everybody understands nor expects us to have you know, our vibration of love that we want to put out for everyone, right? Like it's stress, it's a lot of noise out there in the world. So I mean, I feel like I do this almost every day. Like I said, it's my meditation. It's kind of like the analogy of in not only people who are overweight exercise. There are very skinny, ripped people, healthy, muscular people that exercise. That's how they stay that way. It's kind of like an exercise for your brain in that sense, right? Or I don't know if you a brain, but you know, emotion. And to me, it's very vibrational, very, very, very vibrational for me. And that's why I do it, you know, on the beach, because that's a huge thing for me. But I just want to make sure that anybody that might be watching or listening, I don't want you, they shouldn't think they can only, like, oh, I don't want to go do this, or I don't need to go do this because my life is great. Well, that's wonderful, but it'll help enhance your greatness in your life. It'll help you get in tune with yourself and make sure that your vibration level stays at its highest.
Right.